This is why nobody tells you about Uber Eats. I've been out for 4 hours now, and I've only made $36. I'm feeling extremely discouraged.
You know what it is? It's not the price of groceries. It's not that it costs more to put a gallon of gas in your car than the federal government mandates they pay you an hour. It's not the lunatic running the country. It's not shoveling billions to oversee aid while we're in debt trillions up to our fucking eyeballs.
What has society done to people? Now college degrees are worthless. People can't get by in the gig economy. Everything seems to be crumbling underneath everyone. As soon as they try to get their footing, it feels like everything underneath just collapses, because ultimately maybe that's just the way things are being designed. It's not designed this way for people to flourish. It's designed this way to keep people as stressed out as humanly possible. We're going to discuss that in today's video, guys. We're going to talk about society. Let's do it.
Sorry to tell you guys, but these days college degrees are absolutely worthless. You can make the same, if not way more money without a degree. And I have a degree. I went to school, right? But my buddy Sean, he did not. And he makes more money than anybody that I know. See, Sean was one of my good buddies in high school, right? But when we graduated high school, we went our separate ways. I did 4 years at University of Oregon, and Sean, he stayed at home and lived with his parents in Los Angeles. And at the time, I remember thinking that this was a bad idea, right? Because college made sense. But it turned out to be the best thing that he could have done. And I found this out after I graduated college and moved back home to Los Angeles to live with my parents. Because I get back home to Los Angeles and I feel like the world is my oyster, right? I just put 4 years in at University of Oregon. I got a degree in advertising and a minor in multimedia. I'm gonna find a job in a week, right? And I realized very quickly that that was not the case, because I'm applying on LinkedIn. I'm a goddamn LinkedIn warrior. I can't get an interview, bro. You have to know the CEO of the company if you want a job these days, right? So in the meantime, I'm waiting tables, legitimately waiting tables, living off tips, living at home.
It really does feel like you have to know someone now, even just to get like a regular job. That's why right now I'm just going to stay self-employed for the time being, because I'm still in a relatively new city, and because I don't go to work, and that's usually where people meet friends and they network. I'm doing everything pretty much online and by myself, so I have no real physical network here. So for me, it's really difficult to find a job, and that's why I really do feel like you kind of have to know someone to get a job, unless you want to take a job in the gig economy. And honestly, the gig economy is pretty bad. In fact, some people can make only $36 in 4 hours of work. That's not even $10 an hour. You can't live off of that. You are not even surviving at that point.
This is why nobody tells you about Uber Eats. I've been out for 4 hours now, and I've only made $36. I'm feeling extremely discouraged.
Oh my God, and can you imagine the fees and stuff after that as well? No wonder you're feeling discouraged. What's even more bizarre about that clip in general is the fact that you heard the raindrops on her car, right? So she's working Uber Eats. You'd think that most people don't want to go out to eat. If that was their plans, they'd be ordering stuff online through apps like Skip the Dishes or Uber Eats or even DoorDash. But evidently, she's not reaping the rewards of that. It really makes you feel like, is it really worth it to put in all that extra time to work in the gig economy if you're only making that much?
You know what it is? It's not the price of groceries. It's not that it costs more to put a gallon of gas in your car than the federal government mandates they pay you an hour. It's not the lunatic running the country. It's not shoveling billions to oversee aid while we're in debt trillions up to our fucking eyeballs. It's not that we can't take care of our own people before we send more shit over to fund a fucking war for Zionists. No. It's not the aliens. It's not the aliens that they announce are real every single time there's a national or global controversy for the last 5 fucking years now. No, it's not that. It's not that Johnson & Johnson has been funding Diddy parties for the last fucking decade. It's not that they're building escape tunnels under the fucking major cities, so when the shit hits the fan, they can all disappear and watch the social experiment go boom.
That is actually insane, but it's true. It feels like in the last 5 or 6 years, whenever there's some big controversy happening in the world, it's like, guys, aliens. The aliens, they're real. Okay, UFOs. Check out these videos. Now, I know we're releasing all these videos now, you know, with AI being able to perform relatively good quality videos right now online. You can make tons of videos with AI. That's why ultimately a lot of people aren't believing this stuff. Maybe it's real. Maybe there's aliens. Maybe there's a lot of UFO footage out there that actually is credible, but unfortunately they're releasing it in like the most inopportune time because of just the technology we have now available. And that's kind of why, even if they do have really good footage of a UFO, people are just gonna call AI. You know, that's what's happening right now. And who knows, maybe aliens are real, maybe UFOs are real. It's possible, it's very possible, but people are like, you know what, even if it's real, let's focus on these controversies that you guys are trying to, you know, sweep under the rug.
This is where we are in society. That's 8 pieces of chicken and some rice for $15. $15 for this. $15. Does anybody else have the feeling like there's not going to be any restaurants left if this is what's happening? Like, I'll pay $20 for Five Guys because I feel like it's worth it, but $15 for 8 pieces of chicken and a bunch of rice, not worth it. This is ludicrous.
Yeah, because chicken is one of the cheapest meats you can get still at grocery stores, and then on top of that, rice is really cheap. So you're thinking chicken and rice should be one of the cheapest things you can get, you know, maybe in a mall if you're eating some food in the mall or if you're going to a Chinese restaurant, but $15 for that. Okay, all right, society, you have failed us.
Anybody notice that everything we buy nowadays is absolutely garbage? Okay, the grass seed, okay? I used to have grass seed sitting in my shop, and if it sat in my shop like 3 or 4 days, there'd be grass growing out of the bag, okay? Look at the grass seed. That's a month and a half, and that's all I've got in a month and a half, and it's been watered twice a day, every day, okay? Gasoline. Gasoline's another thing. You notice that gasoline is you're not getting even close to the mileage we used to get with gasoline? I used to get 23 mpg in my truck. Now I'm lucky if I get 13, right? Same driving habits, same everything. Like it makes absolutely no sense. Nothing is lasting. Like there's obviously something going on. Like the government is definitely putting the screws to us.
It really does feel like since like the late 80s, early 90s, everything has just been going down in quality. If you just look at what used to be made in the USA and Canada, and a lot of the countries were making their own stuff, right? They're very self-sufficient. And then we started moving everything overseas, and then things get made cheaper and cheaper and cheaper because it's all about making as much money as possible for these corporations. And now this is where society's at. The end-shitification of the entire world. Leave your thoughts about this video down below in the comment section. Leave your thoughts as well about society down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.